We have a transmission out of a Ford Explorer, Ron Melvin. This transmission came in, had a bunch of material in the pan, was actually towed over. What we found here, we can see, this transmission was slipping. Okay. Also have the lining on the bands itself is worn out. Also see on the planetary carriers, we look here and we can see the shims on the right and left. There's excessive clearance here on these planets, and that instability can create some problems and potential planetary failures. So we generally, when we see that, replace them. This planetary carrier here, this had excessive rocking on the pinion, and the rocking, what happens is it starts to pit up the end of the teeth. I don't know how well this is coming up here, but if you look there, we can see the pitting on the end of those teeth. That's because these planet pinions are moving and it's loading the end of his teeth until eventually these, the planet itself just winds up failing, or a tooth comes off of the sun gear. So this transmission, actually here we have, if we look, there's some material there, bushing material, potentially from these thrust washers from the planetary carrier. Also these transmission cases are very prone for problems. These servos here ride in the case. We machine the case, we put a servo sleeve in to reestablish the proper integrity. The problem is these servos here, they actually broach the hole and make the hole oblong. Then it doesn't apply the band, so you wind up putting a new band in it. But if the servo is not being applied properly, this servo, well, there you can see some material there. I didn't even notice that before. But anyway, this servo is fed through this pin, pressurized the backside of the servo, and that's what actually creates the force. This servo pin here pushes against the band, and actually against a band strut, and then that pushes against the band. So if the applied pressure is insufficient, it burns up the band. You wind up with gear ratio codes, and you have to pull the trans back out again. So on top of the regular rebuilding items, we do appear to have some planetary requirements. Price this out against a remanufactured transmission. And again, any competent shop that would be rebuilding it would replace the servos. These look like original servos here. You can even see the Ford logo, and this looks like a converter that was painted. So you never know what was actually executed or what was installed in this. May have been a situation where they just went in and did a patch job.